Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Lots going on. It is a Monday, and all of our guests on Monday are brought to you as always by our friends at Bassant Motors, and those guests include Harman Dayal, standing by in Penticton. The Bassant Motors Scholarship is back again this year. What happened to the graphic? Bassant is offering $32,000 to 16 deserving students. Get all the details. I'm just thinking of the clients here.
Yeah.
Get all the details at bassantmotors.com/scholarship. Deadline to enter is September 24th on the weekend. Harman Dayal is going to join us now. He covers the Canucks for The Athletic, co-host of the Vancast, the Young Stars tournament going on up in Penticton. Canucks are 1-1 so far. They've beat Calgary. They lost to the Jets in a shootout. They play again today against the Oiler youngsters at 1:30 in Penticton. Harm's covering everything up there. Harm, thanks for doing it. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Looking good, by the way.
Yeah.
And tell us about Aiden McDonough. He seems to be blowing everybody away up in Penticton. What's your opinion on what he's up to?
He's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, right off the bat, we've of course seen the highlights in terms of his wicked release. But on top of that, you're seeing pro-ready details in terms of how he's winning battles along the wall. He and Max Sasson on that second line or first line, whatever you want to call it, have been so effective on the forecheck, just smothering Winnipeg's defense the other night, just dominating in terms of zone time. And with McDonough, it's not just that he has a high-end shooting ability, but one attribute that we even saw at the end of last season when we saw him for a few NHL games is that he has the ability or natural instincts and knack for finding shooting lanes. And what I mean by that is you look at his first goal against Calgary on the power play, for example, before he has a shooting lane open to him, he has to fake the shot, get the defenseman to bite and go down to try and block it, and then he cuts into the middle, and then he has the open shooting lane. And even at 5-on-5, whether it's on the cycle, whether it's off the rush, he just has an ability to get lost in the shuffle and find ways to get open in the slot, which is crucial because some prospects coming up, they have the high-end release, but they don't know how to get open. And especially as you graduate to higher ranks, defensemen are so good. They close quickly, and so you need sharp instincts to be able to find space, and that's what McDonough has shown, and that's why I think he could have a bright NHL future ahead of him.
What do you like about Arshdeep Bains' game in Penticton?
Well, we always know that he's had the standout hockey sense in terms of how he sees the ice, makes plays with the puck, rarely turns it over, but what I've seen from him compared to last year is a significant improvement in his skating. And that's one of the things where when I looked at him last year, I wondered, is he going to be able to move quickly enough to stick it at an NHL level? And this year, distinctly recall multiple plays where he's been, I can recall distinctly many plays over the last two games where he's been hounded by a defender. He's had somebody closing in on him quickly, but he's had the type of edge work and elusiveness with his skating, extra quickness that he didn't have before. And it gives him the extra half second to be able to protect the puck, shield it, and then wait for a teammate to join. And that's why he's been so effective carrying pucks up the ice through the neutral zone, consistently setting up plays. Even when you look at the power play goal that he had against Winnipeg, the rebound goal, it wasn't just that. You watch 20 seconds before that, the way that he was able to collect the puck in the neutral zone, weave his way through the neutral area, set up an entry. The only reason the Canucks got set up cleanly was because of his work as the puck carrier. And that's just the type of quickness that I hadn't seen before, that now that you're watching him now, you're like, okay, this could be a real player here.
So we lost you for a second there, Harman. I think the problem is the last time we had you on, you had that handheld mic.
Yeah.
And it looked like, we brought it up earlier, the word karaoke, it looked like you were going to do karaoke.
Yeah.
You have to get that back. The technical difficulties will go away. So that just a thought for another day. There you go.
All right. One guy I want to ask about is Aatu Raty, Harm, because he's a big piece in that Horvat trade for me for the future. How did he look on the weekend?
He looked a lot better in that Winnipeg game, especially playing on that lines with Bains. They spent 2/3 or 3/4 even of their shifts dominating Winnipeg in terms of zone time. And with Ratu, what you notice is that he's not the flashiest player. He certainly isn't the most dynamic, especially because of his skating, which I think will need to improve for him to stick as a top 9 NHL centerman moving forward. But very smart player in how he sees the ice. His passing in all three zones, whether it was on the breakout, whether it was in transition, whether it was on entries, or even the power play, was crisp. It was sharp, consistently tape to tape, didn't make any mistakes. And on top of that, he has a lot of pro habits and impressed me defensively. The way that he came back deep defensively to support his defensemen, win battles, clear out the front of the net, that was a huge help for the defenders there. The way that he won battles along the walls in the offensive zone, off the forecheck. He's a big body. He's strong, and you definitely saw the playmaking. You also saw that when he gets space, he has a lot of velocity on his shot. So definitely saw a lot of encouraging things from him in the Winnipeg game. He and Bains were so impressive on that line together.
Who was the one player who didn't show well, who you thought would show well, and who needed a big summer?
The couple guys that maybe stick out in terms of wanting more from, I think Filip Johansson is one player. He's somebody who had an excellent year in Sweden in the SHL, and if you're dominating, or maybe not dominating is a strong word, but if you're really successful playing against men in Sweden, the top league, and you're an older prospect like Johansson is, you expect him to come into a tournament like this and be a legit difference maker. And I just haven't been impressed with his defensive play. You look at, for example, Kobe Barlow's power play goal late in the third period that got the Jets back into it. Johansson he needed to take away that near post. There's no way Barlow should ever be wide open. His stick should have been there to take that passing lane away. Even against Calgary, I thought there were a couple of shaky defensive moments. And that's not to say that for the overall two games that he played bad. He just didn't stand out enough for positive reasons for a guy who is hoping to vie for an NHL spot. Because you look at somebody like Akito Hirose in comparison. Hirose, you can immediately watch him and go, wow, this guy is far and away just head and shoulders better than this competition level, and you can see why he's legit ready to contend for an NHL spot. Whereas you just didn't see that with Johansson, at least in this tournament.
Harm, for people who haven't been there, Penticton, what kind of a job is it doing hosting this event, and is it worth taking in for hockey fans who might not have been there before?
It's beautiful. I mean, just coming in the first day, you see the beach, you see the sunset. It's still warm and toasty in the atmosphere inside the rink. I mean, you just run into so many people who are diehard Canucks fans. I mean, people that listen to shows like this, read all the stuff online, are part of Canucks Twitter. It's you can tell it's a close-knit community. They really value their hockey here. They're highly educated. And I mean, even the things to do in and around town. I mean, a bunch of us media folks went to karaoke night on the Saturday. And I guess that's where I left my mic behind.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
But that was unbelievable, the boardwalk area. And you see even the players just like they're hanging out with their families. They're bringing their families here. The weather, the scenery, it's just so beautiful out here. They've done a fantastic job of hosting.
Okay, go to that establishment, get your handheld mic back. Harm, thanks for this. We'll get you back on the show soon.
Thanks, guys.
You bet.